68 bpsc essay topic education seeking change after covid. In the famous allegory of cave as put forth by Greek philosopher Plato, there lived a few men in cave with chains on the feet. They used to face wall of the cave and could only see shadow of things uh, coming from outside. They believed it to be the true reality and kept talking about it. On one fine day, a man somehow was able to break the chain and turn towards the stairs and escaped from it. At first, he could barely fix his stance on shimmering light from outside. Captured by curiosity, he went out to discover the truth and reality. Captured by the zeal to share his discoveries, he came back to teach his fellow cavemen, but none of them believed it to be true and mocked him. The philosopher enjoyed his enlightened state of existence, which came through knowing true reality, truth of life, while banishing away from ignorance, illusion, etc. In the above dictation, the cave represent the material conditioning of life and comfort zone, whereas the shadow represent ignorance and illusion. The man represents children and present system of schooling, whereas the philosopher symbolizes the COVID era, which showed the reality of life and vulnerabilities associated with it, which was opened wide few years ago. Lastly the world outside depicted as reality. Truth is true education's manifestation that carries the huge potential to enlighten and meaningful, purposeful existence. In the father of nation had iterated that literacy is not education, it is not the beginning, not even an end. It true education is drawing the best out of a man and child's mind, his mind, body, and soul. This precisely describes the scenario of education in pre-COVID era, which focused more on literacy, rote learning, herd mentality, lack of critical thinking, and innovation. Even before the pandemic era, there were issues faced by the education system as a whole. The primary schooling faced the burden of high dropouts, sluggish pace of learning, lack of infrastructure, lagging behind of children of in basic literacy and numeracy skill, as pointed out by several reports from ACR and NGO Pratham. Similarly, in secondary schooling, issues like dropout rates, teacher to uh, people ratio, as well as experience based learning was demeaning the growth of children on the one hand and the persistence of no failure made them pass without reality learning what was meant to be, creating issues in higher level of education. In the higher education field, the gross enrollment ratio seems to be stunted. Too much of competition flexing the muscles of education, lack of skill-based learning, rendering education youth unfit for unemployment. Equally worrisome is the fact that the curriculum is outdated and there is lack of institute and industry partnership. COVID acted like a flashing light and torch, expressing the brutal and harsh reality while opening a plethora of new problems like accessibility to online learning, rural-urban divide, digital divide, lack of trained teachers, technological backwardness, illiteracy, rising inequality, have and have not, cyber threats, cyberbullying, etc. Every adversity presents itself with opportunity to restart, uh, alter, and change, dispose of redundant practices, and introduce new ones, taking are from lessons and transformation. India had already introduced New India literacy policy, which the whole atmosphere and learning by changing the format to 5 plus 3, 3 plus 3 plus 4 pedagogy, introducing the early childhood care arising out of nuclear families, urbanization, and working parents for the first time. Also, it offers plethora of choices to students to choose their styles without the presence and burden to perform an examination. The focus has rightfully shifted towards critical thinking, experience, and skill based learning, along with the Silent Revolution NEP 2020. Various other schemes like Nipun Bharat Open School Learning, Diksha Portal, arising of educational programs specifically for need JES parents had made quality education affordable and accessible to all. These are all steps in the right direction. A famous Chinese proverb says that as you want to for a year, invest it for a year. So rise. If you want to invest for a decade, plant tree, and if you want to invest for lifetime, spend in the equation. Ancient India had the wisdom of understanding the importance of true education and to harness benefits and rewards. There used to be Pathsala, Chatuspadis, etc. to educate children gradually, which passed away as a result of colonization. The British government started the humble beginning through Charter Act of 1813 and gradually accepted education, Indians as white man's burden and through Macaulay's Minutes, Wood's Dispatch, Raleigh's Commission led the modern education hubs in India. Mahatma Gandhi and Rabindranath Tagore were against such modes models. It faced to build character and give peaceful skills, which is central to overall development of personality. Today, the independent India is again taking us from their vision of education through Vardha Plan, PM Sri School, Santi Niketan, etc. to enforce vocational training, uh, moral and character development of children, taking best of the elements both from east and the west while focusing on women-led development too. However, there still needs to be more focus on value education and exposing children to spiritual wealth of India through education system. The moral crisis still looms huge through growing communication-based media, cyberbullying, pedagogy, etc. Education is the single most powerful weapon that can change the whole world. Schools are not merely front walls, but it has future sitting inside it. Today's children and youngsters will be torchbearers of India. Tomorrow, as doctors, politicians, diplomats, teachers, engineering, etc. India, being the youngest country with mean age of 29, enjoys the power to reap its demographic dividend too ensures Swarnayug and a superpower in decades to come. Education system alone can make sure that youths of today are trustees of tomorrow who establish a peaceful, prosperous and enlightened world order full of tolerance, mutual harmony, kindness and love of each other. Here, time has come for prisoners of the cave to come out of allegory of cave that is out of darkness and ignorance and free themselves morally, physically, spiritually, intellectually and become enlightened world citizens. 58 marks.